life, but I want to take you and give you a little bit of background of how I was raised. And I just want to share some things with you. I grew up, my mom and my dad, my mom was an alcoholic and my dad was a crack addict. And God was never spoken in my home. And at the age of 2 years old, my mother would leave my father, and he went to Ohio, and he just left us by ourselves. And she had a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and she moved to Virginia Beach. And at the age of 2, and my sister was 1, my sister passed away at the hands of the abuse of my mother, and they placed me with my grandparents, and the abuse would continue on, and my grandmother would continue to abuse me. She would tie me to my high chair and force feed me, and she would, if I threw up or anything like that, she would force me to eat those things that I threw up, and she just continued to abuse me. And at the age of 9, my grandparents got a divorce, and they sent me to live with my father. And you know, every man, every son, every boy dreams of his father and thinks about his father. He's his hero, and he's his provider, and he's his best friend. And after a few months, the abuse continued with my father, and he would abuse me so bad that I would stay up at night and endure pain, and he would black my eyes, and I would have to make up lies. And then just a few years later, he committed suicide, and he passed away. And at that time, I was dealing with so much in my life that I began to feel like no one loved me. I began to feel like no one cared about me. No one wanted to be my friend. No one loved me. And so I started doing drugs, and I started hanging out with the wrong people. And I started popping pills and smoking weed. And my friends, I would wake up and I would get high, and I would go to bed high just so I could numb the hurt, and I could numb the pain, and I could numb those things that I was feeling of abandonment. And I went years and years of doing that and getting caught up in drugs and alcohol. And I got worse and worse. And at the age of 16, my girlfriend got pregnant. My baby was born 6 days before my 17th birthday. And even that wouldn't change me. Even that didn't move me to change my life. And finally, at the age of 18, God began to draw me to a church full of people who loved me and who would care about me. And I never felt love before, and I never felt compassion before. And God got a hold of my heart, and He began to change me. And people began to tell me about how a man died for me. And I couldn't understand how somebody would die that didn't even know me. How a man that didn't know me could die. And he would die for me and love me that much that he would go ahead and take on sins that I had committed. And it was hard for me to understand. But man, when I got in church and I got a fire for God, and He changed my life, He got a hold of me, and He filled me with the Spirit, and He moved me, and He changed me. I'm not the same man that I was yesterday, and I'm not what I'm supposed to be. But God is still moving on me, and He's still changing me. I don't do those things no more. And God got a hold of my life. I don't hang out with the same people, but Jesus is my best friend, and He said He'd never leave me or forsake me. When my friends wouldn't hang out with me because I wouldn't get high with them, Jesus said, I'll be your best friend.